Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be giving you guys a little bit of a garden update of my new house. So I've been doing a lot of work and sometimes it seems like not much happens, but I'm trying to document like the changes that I'm making so that I can kind of track how things go in the future. So I am attempting to turn my mostly lawn yard, I have a 1/4 acre lot, into lush area for pollinators, full of nice biodiversity of native plants and all sorts of kind of ecologically minded goals for my garden. So I'll show you guys what I have so far, and keep in mind I'm just starting out here, so I still have a lot of lawn and it's a very slow process of trying to properly turn it into a garden for the environment and for the pollinators and for wildlife, and it takes a lot of thought being put into everything. So I've been making a lot of little changes, but I think they're little changes that really are going to make a big difference over the longer term. So I'm going to go ahead and show you around my garden a little bit and talk about some of the projects that I'm working on. So let's get started. So this section that I have right here is my veggie bed section. So here I have only really properly done one bed for the year because they're quite overgrown when I moved in, but I am making a bit of progress and I am slowly building some more beds so I can grow more veggies next year, and working on remediating the soil and trying some more no-dig methods, which they don't show results right away. So I think this area is going to be really transformed next year. So this bed, I just did not have the time to really do much to it, so I let it kind of run free. This is raspberry, I believe, that's kind of just popping up. There's some alliums in here and some other random stuff, some dandelions, so poppies, I see some poppies. So this bed, maybe next year I'm going to work on it, but this year nothing's happening with it. And then going over here, this bed I'm just going to keep as a raspberry bed. I love raspberries. You can see there's already kind of some coming in. We had a heat wave here that killed a lot of raspberries, but these are what I have from this season. So I'm just going to let this populate full of raspberries. And then this bed over here is the only one I kind of properly filled with starts. So I actually ended up digging this one up, and I have a video of preparing this bed, which I'll link to above, but I got some little bees on my blossoms. I know this is like a pretty makeshift deer fence, but it actually does work for my deer. They just can't be bothered when there's so much other good stuff around. So I have all of my starts planted in here, and there was really no rhyme or reason on any of it. You can watch the little bee on the blossom there. So these are tomatoes in here, there's marigolds, there's dino kale, there's some nasturtiums, some sweet peas, some snow peas, tomatillo, a big tomato. So I'll loop around here and show you the tomato. So these ones are like little, I think they're, gosh, I can't remember, sweet millions, little cherry tomatoes, which you can see them kind of growing in here. They're doing pretty well. Some more marigolds, and this is pineapple sage and calendula back there. So like I said, a whole mix of all different stuff. Oh, sunflower as well. Forgot about the sunflower. So this is just kind of where all the starts kind of ended up, because this was the only bed that was really ready to plant this year. So then if we move around over here, this bed is a bit of not a failure, but I just didn't do it right. I tried to plant things without all of the grass that was overgrown, without removing it, and so the grass I tried to put cardboard down to kill it. Didn't really work. Grass grew up everywhere and it took over my bed. So this bed's just full of grass, and there's a few starts I tried to put in here, like some marigold, but it didn't thrive because the grass, I think, and the weeds were just taking too much of the nutrients away. So this bed I'm going to cardboard mulch over for winter and try again next year. I'm going to try a no-dig method sort of thing with it, but yeah, for now that's not really working out for me. This, I don't know what to do with this big planter. Right now I just have some catnip in it, but the neighbor's cat comes in here and destroys it. So I don't know. I really don't want to be attracting cats to my backyard, so I might just get rid of this, to be honest. And then if we move over here, you can see the beds that I'm starting for next year. So I have killed the grass in these two beds by putting cardboard, compost, and mulch on it, and kind of just defining the space with some scrap wood. I'm gonna actually properly build up a bed this winter or this fall, and then I have another one here. So these are going to be next year's veggie garden. So the next area I'm going to be talking about is my native plant shade garden. So a lot of this has stayed the same from when I actually bought the place, but I've added in a few native plants and kind of helped some of the other ones flourish. So the native plants that I have in here, they were originally covered with landscape fabric, which was really problematic because the organic material wasn't getting down into the soil and decaying properly, and the roots were growing around the landscape fabric and getting trapped and not growing deep, so they weren't very drought like the ferns. The roots were just all growing on the surface because they were not able to get through the landscape fabric, so they didn't grow deep roots, and so they're not very drought tolerant. So there was a lot of issues with this landscape fabric, so I ripped it out, I mulched it, or I put compost down and then mulched it, and then hopefully the soil is going to be a lot healthier for next year, so I can plant even more native plants and allow the ones I have in here to spread. So I do have some non-native stuff kind of tucked in here on accident, but overall most of this is native plants, and I want to keep it that way. So this is kind of what it looks like. It is a bit of an overgrown thicket. You can see it goes all the way down to the edge of my house over here, and so I have a bunch of different species in here. I have a lot of western sword fern, which I just absolutely love. It's such a beautiful plant, and so characteristic of the Pacific Northwest. There's a lot of snowberry bushes in here, and the snowberry is also putting out these little shoots here, so I don't know how much I'm going to let them all grow in because I don't want this to just turn into another snowberry thicket, but we'll see. I do have some blackberries in here that are actually just about ready to be picked. I think this was an accident. I didn't mean to have blackberries here, and I probably should take them out, I'm guessing, because they tend to spread pretty invasively, but you know, I just haven't thought too far ahead. So for now I just have some little blackberries dangling down that me and the birds can eat. So moving along this way, we have this is called ocean spray, I believe, and it's a native shrub yeah, it's a pretty large shrub actually. It gets pretty tall, you can see, and I think this shrub is absolutely beautiful. I planted it in a few other spots because I just love it. The little kind of ocean spray flowery things like are dying right now, but they're kind of a bright neon white in the spring. Oh, and we also have Nootka rose in here. You can see the little wasp galls that are typical on some of the rose bushes. So Nootka rose is also native to my area, and it's all mixed in here in kind of a thicket that the birds really love. Moving down here, more western sword fern. More of the same. Oh, and then this is a hedge nettle that I planted, so I'm trying to spread this as a bit of a ground cover, I guess. A native kind of plant in the mint family. And then I also, for ground covers, I have bunchberry that I planted, and I'm not really sure if this is doing well, but I'm making sure to water it. I think the deers got into it a bit, munching it, but this is a native ground cover that forms some really pretty little flowers and berries throughout the year. More hedge nettle. And then that's about it for unique species, because then I just repeat them all down the way until the end of this area, till it hits my house. So this is the flower garden. So in here, it's looking a little dry and dead right now. Actually, you know what? My whole lawn is looking dry and dead because we have a drought going on in eastern Vancouver Island, and we're not allowed to really water much with the watering restrictions, which is fine. I have a lot of drought tolerant vegetation, but it just looks a little crispy this time of year. But this flower bed here, I'm kind of going for like a cottage garden look slash pollinator garden, but there's very little native species in here. Mostly because they didn't have native species when I planted, or when I bought this house, but so I'm using this for non-natives and ornamentals and pollinator plants that aren't native to just kind of have some fun with it. So I extended it out this way. So this is all new. That's why it's not very grown in. And I planted some, gosh, I know this is a Artemisia, I want to say, but I just don't remember what kind, but the hummingbirds are obsessed with this. I planted some azaleas here, and then over here I planted butterfly bush, which can be quite invasive, but this is a sterile version of butterfly bush, so it shouldn't be invasive, and the pollinators love it. So it's all quite overgrown with grass, but there's my roses there. I have my bird feeder. More roses back there, a lot of different flowers in here, and like I said, it's looking a little rough right now with the watering restrictions, but in this area I've just been really having fun with a lot of non-native flowers. Okay, and moving back here, my kid house is still here. I haven't gotten rid of it yet, so it's still there. This is kind of coming up into my native plant zone. So I have this huge bed here that's already been cleared of grass that I'm going to turn into a giant native plant garden, and I'm going to eventually do like a sitting area slash fire pit area over here too. But right now I'm just kind of planting native plants, so I'll show you some of the stuff that I planted already. So this is all shady and it's over under my cedar tree. So I have thimbleberry and salmonberry, and I'm hoping that will fill out this area a little bit. You can see I'm cutting back the ivy here. I don't want that getting into my yard. Okay, sorry, it's the next day. I got distracted. So I'm gonna keep showing you some of my garden, and it's the morning now, so it's nice and quiet and lots of birds. So let's see the native plant section of my garden, well, another native plant section of my garden, and my shrub border, which I'm very excited about. So this is a border that I created all along the edge of my property, and it continues down here. So this is a privacy hedge that I planted. I have English laurels and rainbow pillar serviceberries, and this is a ocean spray, which is that same tree that I had on the other border, to kind of create this. Hopefully it's good, the tree's gonna kind of come up and like shade this a little bit and just provide some really nice kind of interest entering the garden. And then I have over here just straight English laurel down this way. English laurel is not native. I went back and forth on this, but I really just want like an evergreen, fully green, thick hedge. And I could not find a good native species available to me that provided the same benefits as English laurel. So sadly it's not native, but I also will have a lot of other native plants, including this guy, which is some sort of berry shrub. I can't remember now. It was a native berry, but not berries for humans, but like berries for birds. So it's like a shrub with a bunch of cool kind of wildlife features. So then headed this way this section is going to be my native plant garden, and there's going to be a fire pit back there. It's funny, it looks like I did nothing with this since the last time I showed it to you guys, but I actually have, because underneath this was landscape fabric. So now I took the landscape fabric out and I'm working on remediating the soil. So I put a layer of compost and a layer of mulch, and I'm starting to kind of plant some stuff that's going to break up some of the clay soils that I have in here. I don't know if this is a good idea, but I started planting goldenrod. So I have goldenrod here and there. I started planting Pearly Everlasting, which is this, oh no, that's Euro. There's another one. I accidentally kind of stepped on it though, and then a cat stepped on it, my neighbor's cat. And so it's not doing very well, but it's very pretty. And then yarrow right here, which is a native plant. Another goldenrod. There's some lupin growing in here. I didn't plant it, but I'm letting it be. And then I have some more shrubs and trees along this border here. So let's start from over here. These are like lilies, I think, which I don't really care for. So I think I'm gonna tear these out in the winter, but I haven't decided. Maybe give away it to someone. So in here is black hawthorn, which is a large, well, a small to medium-sized deciduous tree that's known for being a really good wildlife tree. It has nice thorns for the birds, and it also has berries and like little fruits that the birds will eat in the winter. So, oh, and then in the summer it has white flowers that attracts all sorts of different creatures to them. Apparently they're really stinky, so we'll see. So this black hawthorn is going to provide a little bit of privacy on this side of the wall. And then right here I have quite a few California lilacs, ceanothus, which is California lilac Victoria, which is not a true lilac. It's a ceanothus. So it has these really cool little flowers. I don't think I really have too many left. Yeah, the flowers kind of died, but it's like these pretty lilac looking flowers in the summer, and I'm gonna kind of train this in a little bit of a hedge, like a natural hedge, to provide privacy on this wall here. I think this is Crocnostemia or something like that. Non-native. It was here when I bought the place. I don't really necessarily care for it too much. It's all right, but we'll see what happens. Right here I have snowberry, which I just took the suckers from my snowberry on the other side of my fence. Then I kind of planted another one right here too. More California lilac. Okay, I'm also going to show you my patio. So I have a bit of a patio set up right now that I have. You can see it kind of behind me. There we go. Tiger. Can you hear my cat meowing? Do you see him? So this patio is right now way too sunny. It is just smoking hot all day. So what I want to do is I want to get a pergola that kind of attaches to my house and extends all the way out here. That's going to provide some shade cover to this patio. And it's also, this white fence is very old. It's falling down. So I want to take that out and put a bit of a taller fence up here that has like privacy slats maybe, that kind of goes maybe up to the top here. So I can have some nice privacy back here, and it looks kind of like a little bit more cohesive because there's like a number of different fences and all sorts of stuff going on back here. So I'll show you some of the plants that I have in my patio area. So I set up this area actually on drip irrigation. I forgot to mention it, but I also set up this area on drip irrigation. So we're currently experiencing a drought right now, so this is perfect to have the drip irrigation going with the watering restrictions. So I even have the drip irrigation running up to different pots. So this is petunias. These are all tomatillos. And then this is alfalfa. I just wanted to try to see if I could grow it from some alfalfa sprouts, and it's really beautiful actually. I really like it, honestly. It's like an ornamental. I think you can eat alfalfa too. I just haven't really tried. I guess you eat alfalfa sprouts, so that makes sense. So these are tomatillos. The neighbor's cat was digging in here, so kind of screwed up some of these guys, but then moving over here, there's aloe vera, ghost plant, a barrel cactus. This is oregano. So this is oregano, I believe. Shoot, I forgot what kind of herb this was. I think this is oregano. Lemon verbena and lemon thyme, which I have on drip irrigation, which they're doing much better. They were almost dead, and then I put them on the drip irrigation, and they seem to really like it. So moving over here, my little sitting area. I love these little chairs set. I got it from Canadian Tire. I have visitors over, and we love to like sit out here on the deck and kind of just relax, and my cat watches us from afar. So moving over here, we have petunias. These are the Midnight Sky petunias. I think they're so pretty. They're gorgeous. The rest of the petunias are looking a little crispy. I'm not really sure what I did wrong. Maybe I need to fertilize it, but yeah, I just love these petunias. Back here we have some catnip in a container, and then up here I'm vining evergreen jasmine up this fence, which is probably a waste of time because I want to replace the fence, but I don't know, I think it looks really pretty for now. Over here is my herb planter, which I have chives, which are just getting so big, and then I have dill, which is flowered and is going to seed. Down here I have strawberries, which didn't do so well because the deer ate them, but whatever. And then just some flowers and what is this? Lemon. Oh my gosh, I always forget. Lemon mint or something? Oh, there's a hummingbird that is attacking another hummingbird. Do you see that? Anyway, some sort of lemon herb that I'm blanking out on the name right now. And more ghost plant. And that's about it with the patio area. Thank you guys so much for joining me on the tour of my garden. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you have any questions down below, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!